I'm at Dorsey Schools with Chef Kinsella, and he has an amazing background. He's also one of 66 chefs in the country. And tell us more about you and what is happening today at Dorsey Schools that you're involved with.
I'm the lead judge here. I'm appointed by the culinary committee of the ACF to be the lead judge here. My job is to see that the competition runs smoothly, the food is graded properly, and of course there's medals involved, there's gold, silver and bronze medals, and so that's what I'm here to do, is to oversee that and be part of it. My background, I was like Chef Milas. I trained in the Grosvenor House Hotel Park Lane in London. I did a 5-year apprenticeship. When I graduated from that, I went in there. I was what you call conscripted or drafted. I went in the National Service, and I stayed in the Armed Forces of England for 13 years, of which I was 7 years on the Royal Flight, cooking for the Royal House. I've worked a lot of the Royal Banquets and the Queen of England. I also did embassy relief. In other words, I went around the world and relieved the chefs there and went on vacation. And like Chef Milas was talking, I learned an awful lot, because at the end of each tour, I go there for 6 weeks and I spend another 2 weeks there, and I go and cook with the locals. And I learned how they cook their food. I was in Czechoslovakia. I go to the restaurants and work with the chefs. I was cooking on carts in Singapore. And that's how you learn. This is a profession of constant learning. There's never a day that you don't learn something new. My chef who taught me, Chef Lebec, he said, the day you die, somebody's going to show you something that makes a lot more sense than you've been doing it in the past. I think today the modern culinary in America is it's become what we call a show business job, right, Chef? And the real elements of being a chef are so out of proportion to what the job is. Escoffier, who was the father of the modern culinary art, he said, the word chef stands for cooks healthy, edible food. And he said the world's greatest chefs are the world's greatest cooks. And if you're not a great cook, you never be a great chef. And I've had my whole career. Milas and me did the exam at the CIA. It's, put it this way, I slid down the wall on that night and I just sobbed. I mean, I would be honest with you, I was so tired and exhausted and drained. And I'd passed the MasterChef test in England too. Wow. But you have a lot of people in America who will tell you, oh, I'm a master chef, and you're not. Did you pass the exam? No. Am I the greatest chef in America? No, but I passed the test. Chef Milas is the same. We passed the test. And our business in America is so stifled for people who want to be in our business but don't want to pay their dues. In other words, the chef was right. It takes 7 years to get to an executive chef and 5 more years before you even start doing your master. I had 15 years before I did my master chef test the first time.
The information you're sharing is so interesting. What would you give a young person or any person that likes to be a chef advice to be the greatest they can be in this profession?
My advice to them is to go and go to a restaurant and ask the chef when you're at high school, and get a job in the kitchen and learn from the chef. If you really like it, you're not going to be doing fine food every day. You'll probably be turning potatoes, peeling potatoes, chopping parsley. You'll be doing a lot of mundane things. But there's a reason for that is, if you don't turn your potatoes that are all even, and you roast them, one will be raw and one will be overcooked. And there's a whole skill set of using a knife. What's a good piece of meat to roast? What's a good piece of meat to braise? These are the things that you learn when you're an apprentice or you work with a great chef. These are things that you learn as to become a good cook, and then go to school. Work in industry for 2 years and then go to school, right, Chef? Right. Because then you've got a feeling, I don't really want to do this. School will teach you the theory and the practical. but work experience is 80% of how good a cook or chef you become.
And you'll know if you like it by having that experience.
Yeah. I mean,
great advice.
I'll tell you a funny story. When I was working at the Palace, we had Jack Kennedy came to, and we did his state dinner at the Palace. So he came. He was a very, very personable gentleman. He came in the kitchen to meet all the chefs, and he was walking down, and he shook everyone's hands, and this was amazing. And his wife was beautiful, a beautiful woman. And he came to me and he showed me. I said, "I'm John Kinsella." "Oh, you're Irish?" I said, "Yeah." "Well, what are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm in the armed forces." I said, and he said, "Well," and he said, "Why would an Irishman be in Buckingham Palace tonight cooking for the President of the United States?" He said, "Yeah, I got to guarantee you a good meal." Exactly 6 months later, he came to Ireland the year he got assassinated, and the chef of the Irish president said, "John, can you help me?" So of course he did, and he came in and he saw me again. He says, "What are you doing here?" He recognized me, and I said to him, "Mr. President, I'm here to see how to cook meals." You know, and those are the sort of stories that you see, and you meet people like that. I cooked for Marilyn Monroe, who got off a plane at 7 in the morning in London. She was doing the Royal Command performance. I cooked dinner for her at 8 o'clock that night. It is show business, because you have to, if you're a chef, you got 3 meals a day, and you don't care, and anybody doesn't care. If you're tired or you're hungover, if you want your breakfast at 7, you better be there, right, Milas? You want lunch, you better be there. It's a show business. You get up and you perform. And people, it's the show business they're seeing on TV today are people who are really not qualified to teach. Sorry.
No, it's totally understand. Your background is so amazing and very interesting and high level. So congratulations on your career.
Thank you.
And thank you for your contributions that you're making to Dorsey Schools today with this important competition.
To pass the knowledge on, because if I don't pass it on, I can't keep it.
Well, thank you for that contribution. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.